Now you talk to people who've seen the film. Do you think it'll become a Christmas classic? People will gather their families around and watch Christmas on Mars.
That'd be a weird family that gathered around. Well, I would say, if your children are very young, it's fine because they don't really know what they're seeing. Everything is sort of fantastical and weird and scary and wonderful. But if your kids are like 5 to like 16, no way. That'll damage them. That will change their view of what Christmas and birth and everything would be about. But once they get to be 18 again, then you can watch it with them again.
Okay.
So there's a gap where I think it wouldn't be appropriate. But I would say I've seen parents bring their kids to a showing of Christmas on Mars, and their kids were in that age that I talked about.
Yeah.
And I think if you laugh at things. Which the parents did, when the most disturbing parts would come up, the parents laughed and the kids laughed, and they don't care that much.
Yeah.
They don't care. And I do think it's, for kids, it moves along good. My dilemma with some Christmas movies is they just have too much of a message, and whereas mine has a slight message, but you don't have to worry about that till way at the end because there's a lot of good stuff happening. Spaceships are landing. There's a Martian comes out of a space bubble. People are dying. There's fantastical things. There's little inserted color bits in there. So I think it could.
Yeah.
I really do. I think it's different enough that if there's a collection like I would every year, there's a collection of movies I would watch every year. And really, that's why I considered making Christmas on Mars, because I kept thinking, there must be some movie out there that does this thing where it incorporates kind of a retro future version of Christmas in outer space.
Yeah.
And I would have people send me this, I think it's Santa Claus versus the Martians.
Yeah, from the 60s.
Which is not as bad as you would think.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched the whole thing, but I've watched enough of it to think, it's not that bad. It's not that great either, but it's not as bad as you would think. And so part of my, intuitively thinking this movie probably did exist, well, it kind of does, but what I wanted to make seemed more it wasn't supposed to be a B movie. I think it's very much a B movie now that I've made it, but I intended it as just a true kind of drama, and I would make it, and the Flaming Lips would be in it, and it would serve as a vehicle for our kind of, I've said this before, like all significant bands have a movie, and so, we slot ourselves in, next to the Beatles and Pink Floyd and the Spice Girls and the Ramones and the Flaming Lips, and it's like, so yeah,
it's
you
a
have to have a
Christmas
movie.
movie. The thing about Christmas movies and music too is that it does give you a certain amount of immortality, in that it comes back every year, no matter what.
Well, I agree, and that is truly the secret. When you're 3 years old, Christmas takes forever to come back around.
Yeah.
But as you get to be an adult, it's like, oh my God, it's Christmas time already. Now, if given your own choice, you wouldn't do Christmas every year.
Right.
You'd get ready for it about every 5 years and think, oh, now I'm in the mood again. But no, you're exactly right. It didn't seem that long ago that it came out. And last year I was out doing rounds where I'd go to movie theaters and do interviews and, talk after the movie and all that. And here it is, it's playing again. And Sundance, the Sundance Channel called us up and said, hey, we're running Christmas on Mars on Christmas Eve again.
Oh, they are?
To me, it's wonderful. I sat in Robert Redford's office,
So we can watch it on the Sundance Channel on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, I think, at midnight. How perfect is that?
Fantastic.
My brother, who's in the movie, was channel surfing. I think he knew that it was on, but I think he had forgot that it was midnight. And he was channel surfing last year. And he came up on the scene. He's like, hey, that's me on TV. So for that alone,
That's
my life.
That is quite
my dreams
stunning.
are
That can be
fulfilled.
very stunning.
Yeah.